Hey everyone, this is David Mann. We're here in my studio. So I want to talk to you guys about kind of a problem that I see on the internet. And that is there's a lot of guys who kind of advertise themselves as being gurus on chords and scales and modes and all that kind of stuff. And they're always kind of trying to sell you, here's the next scale, here's the next mode, oh, you've got to have this mode. And there's this sense that there's like an unlimited number of modes and it just keeps going, and somehow you'll never know all of them, but maybe this guy actually knows them. The truth is that all of that is actually BS. There are a limited number of scales and chords that exist, and there is a mathematical way to compute them. So if you think about it, check this out. So there are only 12 different notes on the piano. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, once we get back to C, we're restarting again so it doesn't count. Now every one of those notes, imagine that that note could be off or on. That is to say, it could be included in our chord or scale or not. So C could be in or out, C sharp could be in or out, D could be in or out, etc., etc. So for example, with a chord like C major, C is on, E is on, G is on, but all the others are off, okay? Now, once you do that, basic math tells you that that is an exponential function to try to tell you how many possibilities there are. There's 12 different keys. Everyone has two possible states, off or on. That means there are 2 to the 12th possibilities of how many chords and scales exist. Exactly 2 to the 12th. How big is that number? So 2 to the 12th is 4,096. There are exactly 4,096 different patterns you can play on the piano or on any instrument. But guess what? Most of those patterns are duplicates of other patterns that already exist. So for example, look at this one. So a C major chord and a D major chord, they're different chords, but they're actually different versions of the same type of chord. So this one and this one, in reality, those are the same thing. Now, just to keep our list simple, we might as well eliminate any patterns that are simply transpositions or inversions of other patterns. So once you do that, that is going to leave you with 351 patterns, okay? 351. Now, once you do that, you have 351 patterns that are unique. However, most of those patterns sound like this. Okay, now you notice I played a chromatic scale, but I left one note out, this one. Why? Because I'm trying to show you that most of those patterns just sound like chromatic scales with some notes missing. So that brings me to our next rule. If we eliminate any pattern that contains chromaticism, chromaticism being 3 adjacent notes or 2 adjacent half steps, then we are left with a list of 131 patterns. There are 131 unique chords and scales that don't contain any chromaticism. Okay, everyone, so in summary, there are 131 unique chords and scales. Don't let anyone freak you out telling you they've got the next chord, they've got the next scale. The truth is there are only 131, and that's excluding those that have any chromaticism. If you want to know more about this, please check out my website, thecraftofcomposing.com, and I'm going to be doing more videos on this topic later. See ya.